Hey guys, Trey Gibson Tanner here, real estate investor and coach. And today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to effectively sell your own home without a real estate agent. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, so here's the thing. You want to sell your property, but you don't want to pay a real estate agent any commission to market it or advertise it for you. So what are you going to do? So the first thing you want to do is you want to find out how much your property is worth. Okay, I cannot tell you how many people list their property on a for sale by owner on Zillow or whatever website, and they have no idea how much their property is worth. What people tend to do is they go to Zillow and then they pick off the Zestimate and then they list it for, I don't know, like $20,000 more than that because they want to make up the money that they would have lost on a commission. I don't understand that. The proper way to do it is for you to go ahead and invest in an appraisal. An appraisal is going to cost right around $500, sometimes $600 for a good appraisal. And you're getting it for yourself. I mean, your house is your investment, right? This is something that you want to sell and make a decent amount of money on, right? So in order for you to get the desired price that you want, you need to go ahead and find out from a professional how much your property is actually worth. Step number 2, you need to get a home inspection. You need to pay a certified home inspector to go out there and inspect your property from top to bottom. Tell you what different miscellaneous repairs need to be made on your property. If it needs a new roof, if your receptacles or your electrical is all messed up, you need to find out, right? Like if your panel is jacked up and you got old wiring in the house, all of those things are going to affect the type of buyer that actually comes in and purchases the property from you, because FHA buyers, they want different things like that to be updated. At least their lender does, in order for them to approve the loan. So these are things that you need to know before you go to the marketplace to try to sell your property. Step number 3, you need to clean up your property some, okay? If you want to sell it as is, that's completely fine. But offer somebody a discount, okay? Because if you don't offer them a discount and you want like market value or your appraised value, the appraised value is going to be a good number to go with, right? But you need to, if you want to net the most money, you need to go clean it up, right? Paint a few walls, do what you need to do, change out the carpet, things of that nature, in order for you to net the best price. But if you want to sell it as is, here's the thing. Do not get offended by the offers that you receive for that property, okay? Investors purchase properties as is. I'm an investor. So every time I went to go, maybe I just bought a house like at a wholesale price, and then I went on ahead and then I listed it with a real estate agent and kind of do something that we call a wholesale. We actually listed with a real estate agent to net more money after we buy it. I always got it cleaned out. I always like maybe changed out a dishwasher or something like that. I put some money into the property. You have to do those things in order for your property to sell for what you want it to sell for. Here's the other thing, though, that you have to be cognizant of: the market, right? If your market is slow, I don't care what the house down the street sold for. It sold for that price maybe 7 months ago, maybe a year ago. Maybe you live in a rural area where there's not a lot of comps, right? Comps are everything. And what's going on right now in the real estate market matters. It doesn't matter what happened 2 years ago or 1 year ago. None of that stuff matters. What matters is what's going on right now. So in your current situation, if you desire to sell your property without a real estate agent, you need to act as a real estate agent, okay? And real estate agents, good ones, should go through all of this minutia and tell you what to do, because they want to get paid, right, at the end of the day, right? So let's just say somebody calls you up and they say, hey, I want to purchase your property. When can I go and see it? Be available. Don't ever be the type of seller that says, well, you have to wait until this day or this day. No, right now, interest rates, well, currently as of this video, the end of 2023, they're still up at 7%. That's still pretty high, right? So if you have a qualified buyer who's been pre-approved for a mortgage, you need to take advantage of that, like ASAP, and be available to open up the door with them. Maybe you prescribe like a specific time, but don't like play duck goose with them. Like accommodate their requests, especially if they're not asking a huge reduction on price from the get-go. Like if they don't go in and say, hey, would you mind taking 280? I know you wanted 350. Then open up the door for them. They could be qualified. They may actually give you what you want. Step number 2, as far as the contract that you want to use, right? You are now an off-market listing, right? So you're going to be relying on your buyer to present you an offer on a real estate contract, or you can have your own contract. Okay, you can do that if you are if you own the home outright. Okay, what I suggest that you do is if you're going to sell your own property, it's either you deal with an investor who already has their own contracts ready, or what you do is you go and you meet with an attorney and you get a contract written up for your specific property. Yeah, you're going to have to spend money. I mean, appraisal, inspection, contract, these are all things that you need to do, right? Because this is a part of the process that's going to get your house sold in order for you to get money. Another step is that you need to go and meet with a title company. A title company or title attorneys, like in the Southeast United States, they have a lot of title attorneys. You need to have met with one and find out like what they're capable of doing. Meet with a good one. You know, maybe meet with a smaller title attorney or title company that can prioritize your file once you do get that buyer who's going to be checking up and asking for earnest money and deposits and things of that nature. That leads me to my next point I want to speak about, and that's earnest money. If you are going to sell your property, and if you want to sell it as is, I'm just going to go with that case first, then you need to get at least 1% of what you want for the property in earnest money. Case in point, if you have an agreement, a purchase and sale agreement with a buyer for $300,000, you need to request that that buyer puts down a $3,000 earnest money deposit. Okay, they need to have skin in the game. Like, that's just what it comes down to. Because if not, then that person can lock up that contract and they can waste your time. And if there needs to be an inspection contingency in there, not to exceed maybe 10 days. After 10 days, if somebody doesn't know what the property is after 10 days, then they're going to be jacking you around, just to be honest with you. So you need to have an inspection contingency not to exceed 10 days. And if they can't perform in 10 days, then if they don't back out of the contract, that earnest money goes hard and becomes yours. Okay? If they back out on day 11, that $3,000 becomes your money. I cannot tell you how important earnest money is. Definitely make sure that any buyer who signs a purchase and sales agreement with you submits and deposits earnest money to an escrow officer at a reputable title company. They can pick the title company, but if they pick the title company, you definitely want to call that title company and verify that the money has been submitted, because a lot of times people do not submit earnest money. That leads me to my next point, transaction coordination. If it's your property, you need to be actively watching the emails, making sure that this property is being prioritized by the escrow officer or the title processor or whoever is handling your file. Because if they are not actively working on it, let's just say you have like a 45-day close because it's like a conventional loan, or FHA can be even longer, maybe 60 days, they will put your file on the back burner. And something called title work needs to be done, right? That way your buyer actually gets title insurance, which means you're going to have to fill out documents. You're going to have to fill out a seller information form and miscellaneous documents that show that you actually own this property. They're going to run a title search and all that other good stuff. If you have a mortgage on the property, they're going to pull that. Any liens, encumbrances, or all that, any of that kind of stuff is going to be in that title report, and that stuff needs to be cleared before closing. So you got some work to do if you want to go down this path. I actually do purchase properties. I run a company called OfferRock, and we purchase properties nationwide. If you would like to submit your property to us to take a look at, visit offerrock.com, and we will get back to you and let you know what we can pay for it. We'll probably do like a phone call and all that kind of stuff to find out where you're at, but those are the steps. But if you want to do this thing by yourself, then you need to be prepared for it, and you need to make sure that you have the money, right, to pay for an appraisal, a inspection. You need to make sure that you do any types of miscellaneous repairs on the property that will increase its value if you have the money to do so. Get some good pictures too, guys. I mean, listen, maybe hire a photographer. It's going to cost you about $2,000 to do this, but you might have had to pay $10,000 to $12,000 depending on your commission, right, to real estate agents. So it is worth it to put the money into it, right? But do not discount these steps, because if you do, you could be in for a time, especially with an unqualified buyer who is just messing you around, who has really doesn't know what they're doing. They just know they want to purchase a house, and they're not equipped to really perform financially, right? Which happens a lot. So, guys, heed my advice. For you wholesalers out there, investors, you guys already know what it is. Like and subscribe, ring the notification bell, keep working, keep hustling, and whatever you do, don't quit. Until next time, peace.